51% of modern day Americans are in parasocial relationships, but only 16% will openly admit to those relationships. Why is that? Let's get into it. It's human instinct to develop connections, and we develop those connections by exposure. So while parasocial relationships have been around much longer than the internet or social media, they are much more prevalent in our modern day society than they have ever been. The term parasocial relationship was coined in the 1950s, and it just refers to a relationship that a person imagines with another person whom they do not actually know, such as a celebrity or fictional character. So my first thought, what's the difference between just being a regular fan and having a parasocial relationship with whoever it may be? And it's quite simple, the amount of investment. Many people, both real and not real, can be the subject of a parasocial relationship. Whether you're reading about them on a page, seeing them on a screen, hearing the lyrics that they write, or listening to them on a podcast. And even average Joes can become the subject of parasocial relationships due to TikTok and Instagram and YouTube lives and streaming, like on the Twitch platform. Parasocial relationships are developed very similarly to other relationships in our lives. The more time we spend listening to the person, seeing the person, having intimate details about the person's lives shared with us, the more likely we are to feel as if they are actually a friend. I came across a YouTube short that explained this very well.
You know that quote where people say, like, you're the sum of your five best friends? I heard that quote 2 days ago, but they said you're the sum of your five best friends, and that includes parasocial relationships.
Okay, tell me more.
So you think about, in a given week, who's between your ears, right? You might call your mom, your brother, your best friend. You know, I talked to my best friend the other day on the phone, 20 minutes, fun conversation, laughed, great. If I listen to one of your episodes, I potentially am with you for 3 hours, uninterrupted, in between my ears. My relationship with you and the way you speak and how you might respond to something is really, it's almost like AI, right? It's like the amount of input I'm getting of Tim Ferriss creates a incredibly deep relationship with you. And we see that with YouTube when you add the face, you know, and typically with a vlogger or someone who's speaking directly to camera, they're also looking you in the eyes. And you potentially will spend more time with them than you will with your own parents or your, you know,
even your best friends.
Even your best friend.
Obviously, someone who we hear talking for hours at a time, we're going to feel connected to. And like they said, we're potentially spending more time with this individual than people in our real life are, like actual relationships. As I was getting into my research on this topic, I wondered, are there different levels to a parasocial relationship? And yes, there are. Level 1 is entertainment social, which is very much the most common. Second is intense personal, which is less common. And third is borderline or pathological, which is the least common, but definitely the most dangerous. The main distinction between these three levels is the amount of control the relationship has over us and our feelings. Parasocial relationships aren't good or bad, they just are. However, when it gets to the point where these relationships are causing you to no longer have a desire to connect with people in real life, or change something about your appearance or your look, or go into significant debt to either buy tickets to their shows or get all of their merch and all their albums or make donations, that's where they start to impede on our lives and get into the not good category. I don't know about you guys, but if I was personally in a relationship where I was just constantly providing and giving and getting very minimal back, if anything, that seems very toxic to me, and I would definitely be wanting to make an exit. But even though parasocial relationships can't be anything but one-sided, the best subjects play into it. They want you to feel like they are your friend. They want to share posts and intimate details about their lives, whether it be their pets or their cooking or aspects about their family or illness. At the end of the day, that is all just to maintain these one-sided personal relationships that benefit them so significantly financially. It's a hard reality, but it is the reality. There are some positive outcomes that can occur from these parasocial relationships, though. And these are the symbiotic relationships that we develop in our real lives from these parasocial relationships. We find common ground between others who also have the same sentiments towards the individual and create a community where we can create in real life connections with others based on this parasocial relationship. And that is, again, maintaining level 1, so the entertainment social level of these relationships. Level 2 and 3 is where it can start to get a bit creepy, isolating, and even dangerous. If you find yourself constantly checking in on the individual or knowing more than surface level details, commenting on their life choices or their relationships, even going as far as feeling betrayed or heartbroken due to whatever is going on in their life, that is in the intense personal level. And obviously level 3 is the worst. This is a dangerous level of obsession with an individual. Obviously, a fictional example of this is Eminem's song Stan, where a fan became so obsessed that he went to extreme levels to prove his devotion to Eminem. And though the song was fictional, Eminem explained how it was based on real life experiences.
Basically, it's just about crazy fan mail that I get from people, and it's about like a kid who is really sick, you know what I'm saying, and takes everything that I say literally. Like if I say I'm gonna slit my wrist, he wants to slit his wrist. It's like he's crazy for real, and it's like everything that I say he can relate to. It's like he finally found somebody that he can relate to. So at the end of the song, he ends up committing suicide and driving his girl off a cliff, and it's like really crazy. But it was a song, it's kind of like a message to the fans to let them know that, you know what I'm saying, like everything that I say is not meant to be taken literally.
Now that's a very extreme reaction to a song. Lyrics are supposed to evoke emotional responses. If they don't, it's not a good song. But to this level of parasocial relationship, they feel like these words are being spoken specifically to them. They can relate to every single one, and it can cause extreme action on their part.
Oh, is it based on real life? Do you get letters like this?
Yeah, I get crazy letters like that. That's why I was saying, you know, I don't understand, like all this is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I never knew that I was gonna have any of this. This is all, you know, a little bit much for me, you know what I'm saying, to even imagine this, but now it's happening, and it's like...
And like he said, he didn't expect to have any of this happen. And I think that can be said for a lot of artists and actors. They don't expect all of this to happen. They don't expect people to develop this type of connection with them. Generally, the level of parasocial relationship that you have with an individual or individuals is a good indicator of your mental health and may require a reality check. Another very unfortunate incident that happened due to this level 3 borderline pathological parasocial relationship was when Christina Grimmie was shot, and then the fan shot himself. So while parasocial relationships are inevitable and a part of everyday life in our current society, making sure to remain at level 1, entertainment social, is essential for you to maintain your quality of life. These individuals don't need you to spend all of your money, change aspects of your life, or go to their defense online when someone critiques them. They especially don't want you to know their address or where they're going to dinner to show up and surprise them. These are normal people that our society has elevated to such a high status that we consider them to be almost godlike in a lot of cases. So in order to maintain the level 1 parasocial relationship of entertainment social, we just need to give ourselves a good reality check, recognizing that our likes, comments, and shares, and even live chats, one, may not be recognized at all, but if they are, it's likely by someone who is not the individual that you're in a parasocial relationship with. Whatever you're spending on tickets, merch, donations, it's not going to stand out or make any significant difference in the individual's life, at least not enough of one for them to recognize you. Their investment in you is because of the role that they've taken on. And unfortunately, more often than not, what they portray on social media or on screen is not what they're actually like in real life. Again, parasocial relationships are inevitable in our current society. But to maybe counteract those, have more daily interactions that lead to real life connections so that you can have more of a balance and set some boundaries so the parasocial relationships don't take over your personal life. If you haven't met them in real life, have their phone number in your phone, have messaged with them directly on multiple occasions, then the reality is it is a one-sided relationship that we can gain benefits from, but we should not revolve our lives around those. Or in other words, put the screens down and go touch grass.